Ladies and gentlemen, happy 2021. That sounds like we made it up. I mean, we did make that up, but it sounds like I made that up right now because that doesn't sound like a real year. I mean,
no,
as much as 1999 barely sounded like a real year.
Yeah, but we partied.
We did, like it was 1999 or something. Remember the Y2K bug?
Huh?
Remember the Y2K bug?
Yes.
I was working at a bank at that time. Whoa.
Were you?
Yeah. We were worried. Like we were keeping tabs. I was calling in, and I was calling in. Yeah, hours before my shift. Hey, it went okay in Tokyo. Hey, it went okay. Hey, it went okay. Went okay in Shanghai. Moscow doesn't happen for much later, and I guess we're going to find out if they launch nukes, and if they do, then we know it didn't go okay.
Yeah, but the bunker, they got different radar, man. So they keep it on. I'm sure they would have, they probably had some set off time just for grins and giggles, just in case some rockets launch and they could go, holy smoke, let's help. Yeah. But anyway, life's crazy.
For our younger listeners who maybe weren't old enough to notice that what was going on, what happened was, back in the old days, they, when computers didn't have a ton of memory for a shortcut, they did 2-digit years. The date this releases would have been 1/4/21 rather than 1/4/2021. And they realized that they had programmed it to the computers to 19 something, and they suddenly realized that when the clock turned midnight after December 31st, 1999, all our computers were going to think it was 1900.
Like,
and we weren't sure what implications that would have for things like banking systems and
ships on cruise ships,
yeah, well, cruise ships and cargo ships,
missile systems,
Yeah, exactly. So there were a frantic 3 months where people were going through gazillions of lines of code fixing what was called the Y2K bug, and either they fixed it or nothing was going to happen because everything was just fine. I remember where I was watching the ball drop in New Year's Eve, and we all were pretty sure it was going to be fine, but you could hear the collective breath hold for just those 4 seconds. The last couple of seconds of 1999 and the first couple of 2000, like, oh, okay, everything's fine. All right, I'm going home now. Bye, guys. Thanks for the hospitality.
So we had problems back in those days too. Yeah. Man.
We're brought to you today by Vitamin K Daily. Get your daily dose of positive from the Prince of Positive himself, kicking off another year with good stuff in your inbox. This is coming out on the first Monday of 2021, so this will be the first full week of Vitamin K's for the year. Get your philosophical supplements for your attitude health for another year. Get 4 weeks free. That'll take you right up through the end of January. If you don't like it, if it's not for you, just cancel. You won't get charged at all. But after that, just $24.95 a year. Get in on that deal while it's still that deal. Because we usually come up with challenges for each other, and we didn't prepare that, and I didn't prepare this. But I think my challenge for Kelvin this year is going to be to by the end of the year find a solid price increase for Vitamin K Daily that he feels comfortable making, and so that's going to be
100,000 subscribers. Yeah,
well, that'd be nice too, but Yeah, there are two parts to a price increase. It's not only just picking a number; it's picking a number that you can be comfortable with, and it's overcoming
Yes.
imposter syndrome. So that's going to be some. That's going to be some. I'm worth it work on your part. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I know.
And some other stuff. Yeah.
You said right before we started recording that you trusted me, and I just hit you with that. Um,
Oh,
so
yes, that's true. you are that guy, aren't you? Yeah.
I am that guy. I hadn't even planned that one. Sorry, but that came out of my mouth. So vitaminkdaily.com gets you
Yes, sir.
4 weeks free. Hey, also, there are two ways that people hear about this show. One is through word of mouth. So if you like what you're hearing, share it with a friend. Another is ratings and reviews. So if you go to ratethispodcast.com/jkwd, you can actually just type in your rating and review uh, on a computer keyboard and all that stuff. You don't have to figure out how your favorite podcast app takes reviews. It'll slide them over there for us,
Awesome.
and we thank you for that. Let's do the show. Welcome to the Josh and Kelvin World Domination Podcast, where we talk about better humanhood and teach you how to dominate your world. You ready? Here we go. So, Kelvin.
Hi, Mr. Shear.
Happy 21, Kelvin.
Life's good.
Good.
Life's all right. I got nothing to complain about. Did I say that already? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you said that last week, but yeah, they don't know that it's only 25 minutes later.
That's true. That is true. So what you got planned for the year there, Bubba?
I have planned for the year. Well, I'm already committed to a race in November because it carried over from last year. Hopefully, we'll actually run it this year. But I'm gonna train for it. Gonna stick to it. I feel like I say that every year, but I got skin in the game. I bought into a race, so if I'm not ready for it, that's my fault. And I'm gonna get that draft of the book written. Like I said last week's episode, I ran into a problem.
Problem?
Yeah, where I had problems, where I had trouble properly explicating the problem that my book was going to solve.
Gotcha.
So I'm getting back to that.
Yep.
And then when I moved out of New York, I took with me 2 boxes of paperwork from my Masonic lodge in New York, and with the charge to kind of sort the boxes and write our history, and I got the boxes sorted, but then I got very involved with my lodge down here, and now that my year leading the lodge is over, I feel like I have time for that project that I still owe New York after 6 years. So I've already sent the paperwork off to be digitized.
Okay.
Yeah, it wound up being about 1,300 pages they handed me. So yeah, I will write that lodge history this year as well. So I have a long, like a history to write, and a book to get a draft out on, and some fitness goals to hit, and I plan to sit down make stuff happen. We're still kind of hamstrung, by helping out my niece with remote schooling and but if that was our if that was our daughter, we'd be doing it the same. So
Right.
I don't have excuses to make. I just got to do it. And those are my three projects for the year: fitness, a book, and a history.
Somehow, when you were telling us about that, it sounded like more than three projects. Must be
But it's
some
three
spurious
long.
parts. Yeah.
It's three large projects that are fairly disparate from each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to do more writing this year. I decided to slow down on the blog. I'm still putting stuff in there, but I'm submitting to contests now. And
Well,
that's just going to be an ongoing kind of hopefully we'll get a couple of publications this year too. Just a couple of essays in magazines or things like that.
Well, there you go. Something else for me to catch up to. Did I say that? No. Well, over on this side,
It's not a competition.
maybe not for you, Mr. Shear. Anyway, no, it's not a competition. It's inspiration is what that is. And I tell you, I've had plans or thoughts for going over my old blog posts and pulling out the usable information in there and recycling them. Last year, I wrote a magnificent January 1st, New Year's post. And that's all they got written in my blog last year. And that post, man, had some really good stuff in it. And 2020 just knocked it all over the place. So I got to see what I'm going to write for 2021 for this year, because I was talking about last year, I have a 2020 vision. So the 2020 vision has taken on a whole new meaning at this point. So
have you gotten our holiday card yet?
No.
Okay.
It's probably in the mailbox now. I haven't gone out there today.
We did them through Snapfish, and they stuck their own 2020 as something about hindsight being 2020. Thank goodness.
They stole it from me. What's up? I'm going to get that. Oh, I guess I stole it from somebody else. But anyway, I got some consolidating I want to do. I got some product I want to put out, some motivational stuff that I thought about a long time ago. But, going through some of the nuggets out of my stuff and creating cards and stuff with that. All kinds of stuff in the motivational realm. And, back to doing some public speaking. Although, well, we should be able to get in location.
Hopefully there's public speaking to be had. I mean, you might just have to.
And if not, I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff going on.
I was going to say there's a whole industry on Zoom now. So
there is a whole industry on Zoom, and I got the stuff for that. So, and of course my life coaching stuff. So, and my book. We've talked about my book. I promised this book last year. Doggone it. I'm tired of making that promise and not doing it. So, but it is in process. It's further ahead than it was last time I talked about it. So
good.
We'll get that worked out. Maybe some other magic. I've seen a lot of people putting stuff out these days, and they don't just put out their book. They put out some supplementary stuff, some worksheets and so forth. And I'm like, sounds like that's a good idea, because it's not just, a book. So I'm thinking along those lines, but I'm going to scale that. I'm going to put a sequence on that, and we're going to put that out. I'll hire you again in, say, March to keep tabs on me. Because if I hire you now, you'll start like now, like 5 minutes ago. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, we're doing good with that. Otherwise, luckily, knock, 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 knock. The family has been healthy this year.
Good.
For the most part. We did have 2 unfortunate incidents, but we keep moving on, and I got a new grandbaby, so it's cool. So now we have to plot ways to spoil her.
That's right.
That's right. She's so that's gonna be fun. What else we got?
That's
it.
We got some. We got some guests coming up this month for.
We do.
JKWD. Including a repeat guest. We don't do that very often. So we'll look forward to that. I don't know. Whether this. We got what three guests lined up for January, assuming that everybody stays on schedule. So
3+ because one added one, right?
That's right. Well, three interviews.
Yep.
And then we'll see if we probably not going to be able to schedule at that pace because I don't know if you've ever tried to schedule interviews, but it can get a little crazy, and yeah. So that's about what we got coming up with JKWD in the short term, but in the long term, we're just going to keep plugging away and hoping that y'all out there will help more people find the show and all that stuff.
And if you got somebody you want us to interview, let us know.
Yeah, if you get a good prospect or you are a good prospect, just go on over to jkwdpodcast.com and you can hit the contact button. We respond to most email. If it's not somebody, honestly, if it's not somebody that, I'm not going to say all of it because honestly, if it doesn't sound like somebody who lines up with, I tend not to respond.
Mm-hmm.
I spend too much time in front of a computer,
mm-hmm.
so I don't want to give myself an excuse to spend more.
Got it.
We don't do a lot of finance kind of stuff. This just isn't a podcast, really. Is it? For that, it's not anything against the industry. It's just that's not what we do here.
Life stuff, mindset, better humanhood.
Yeah, exactly.
Better humanhood.
Exactly. So that's what we got coming up now. Let me put you on the spot since I kind of gave you a little something, a little challenge you weren't expecting. Do you have something to stick me with?
No, not really, not right now, because
you hit me with that.
You're a very methodical person, and whereas I can be passionately distracted, you tend to be more nose to the grindstone guy. But give me a month because I owe you.
You do owe me, and I will not blame you one bit if you blindside me on this podcast with a challenge at some point.
That's it. Yes, Josh. Next year, you will grow 2 feet and you will be a 6-footer. No, or will you be a 5.5-footer? No, sorry, don't do that. Beat me later. Just kidding. I had to.
Okay, hey, I'm little. I'm not that
January.
And I know when it's cold, I walk a little bit bent over. But
there you go. Yeah, but I can't run a marathon, so you got me beat. But so I think it's going to be fun. Like we got guests lined up already, and it's awesome. So. And I got a lot to do to catch up. Either that or decide what is excess to what I'm trying to do.
There you go.
Because I do tend to like to do everything, since some of it sometimes everything is not what we need to be doing. But I'm a sentimentalist.
Sometimes you keep stuff around just to keep it around.
Yeah, yeah. I can't. You can't even believe the stuff in my basement. Every memory I've ever had. I have the U.S. flags from all the members of our family who served in the military and died. They got a flag at the funeral. I got all of those going back to way back.
Do you at least have them in cases, or are they just hanging around?
No, they're not even in cases. They gave them to us at the funeral, and after I watched the honor guard fold them up, actually, and a couple of them, for instance, like my father had one for his brothers.
Mm-hmm.
When my father died, I got those, and it's crazy sentimental stuff I got. Half the stuff my kids did as kids. I mean, my oldest son made me a little shelf he was probably in the 4th grade or something, and I got that sucker on my wall holding a picture of his sister from high school. So, yeah. So I got to find something else to do, but life's good. I got memories to look back on. And as long as I don't stay in the time frame of the memory, I'm in.
Well, and I was going to say, hopefully you'll form new ones, not just live in those.
This year I plan to form some great memories. Stay tuned.
All right. RateThisPodcast.com/JKWD, VitaminKDaily.com, JKWDPodcast.com. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Show notes and more at jkwdpodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends, and we will see you next week. Bye! A Better Humanhood production.